Girl, come on. Mm-mm. She's your girl, but it's time for her to go. It's time for her to go. What's the person? What's the main person's name gonna be? Carrie. My Sex and the City girlies. Every time I talk to you, my girl, you talk about how you don't like working here. So I don't think you should work here no more. Hey y'all, welcome back to Through with a Splash of Tea, a podcast where we either speak to brilliant people, do this thing one on one, or have best or have best friend chats with my best friend T. I'm your host Cass, and let's get right into it. Okay, so today I want to talk about how important it is to stand behind what you say, and how important it is to essentially stand 10 toes, mean what you say, and hold yourself to my word is bond, and specifically in the scenario of your goals. So I want to talk about like how important it is to figure out what your goals are. And that's it. Like I just want to talk about how important it is to figure it out and like how to figure it out, because a lot of the times we're in situations where we know we don't like certain things, but we don't know that we need to associate a certain goal with that in order to get out of that space. For example, Susan. You love Susan. You work with Susan. You go to work together. Susan's great. She's older, but she's great. Not but. She's older and she's great. She has some kids, whatever, whatever. But every day, when you talk to your girl Susan, you guys have a conversation about how she hates this job. How she hates this job, how she wishes she could be doing something else. She loves to sew. She loves to sew. She's a bomb sewer. And she always talks to you about how she wishes she could be doing something else. You also have, what his name gonna be? Daryl. Daryl. Daryl is your son's karate coach or karate teacher, not coach, karate teacher. And your son just started karate and he likes it. He recently just started a few weeks. He's a few weeks and he likes it, but you really, really, really don't like Daryl. He like is just creepy and you don't like him. You just don't like him. And then thirdly, you got a fupa. You have a lot going on. You have Susan at work. You got your son's karate coach, karate teacher, and then you have a fupa, which you love your fupa. You've had your fupa for a long time. She's your girl, but it's time for her to go. It's time for her to go. And you know that you want her to go. So you know all these things. Susan hates the job and you're going to help her out because she's your girl. You don't like your son's karate teacher, and you also don't like your current weight situation. You know all these things that you don't like, but a lot of the times that's where people are like, okay, like they'll just continue to like state how they don't like it, state how they don't like it, often complain how about how they don't like it, how they don't like it, and then that'll be the end. And it's like, okay, complaining isn't the issue. The issue is you're not taking yourself out of those situations or fixing the or bettering the situation. So, what I would suggest doing for what's the main person's name gonna be? Carrie. My Sex and the City girlies. What I would suggest Carrie do is when she goes to work, speak to Susan. Be like, Susan, listen, every time I talk to you, my girl, you talk about how you don't like working here. So I don't think you should work here no more. Not because I don't love you, but because I think that you should do something every day that makes you happy. So the first question I would say is like, okay, Susan, what would you like to do? Do you want to find another job or do you want to start a business? Like what are you thinking? Because we already know we've figured out you don't like it here, which is great. That's the first step, figuring out what you don't like. That's great. But now what are we going to do about it? The Eric situation. Eric, my son's karate teacher. If I'm really uncomfortable by Eric, then it's time for me to find another karate teacher for my son. This is the closest school to my house. This school works more convenient with the hours, da 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 da. So because of those excuses, you're gonna allow yourself to be uncomfortable every time you have to pick up or drop off your son to karate? Like you're gonna have to dread every time you have to go watch him at a tournament? Girl, come on. Mm-mm. So I would find another karate school in the area and like, all right, whatever, whatever. If there isn't one in the area, then I'd have a conversation with Eric. I mean, you could have the conversation with Eric first or vice versa. The reason that I would try to find another place first is just because like there's times that I'm not going to be around and my son's going to be with Eric. Well, obviously, because I'm going to send my son to karate. And I just feel like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like people that have your kids like alone. I don't like them having a bad taste in their mouth in regards to you. Sometimes there's situations where like you have to like, okay, this is what it is, da da da. But I don't know. I don't like that. Like your kids are like your most precious thing, and to have somebody that has like I don't know, like a dagger in your back, like, and then just leave your kid with them. I don't like that. So I would try and find another karate school. If I couldn't find another karate school, then it's time for me to have the conversation. It's time for me to have the conversation with Eric, and then I would do my best to go to as many practices as possible. Like, hello. But first, I would just try and remove myself from the situation altogether. Okay, now my fupa, the fupa, Carrie's fupa. We got to figure out what we want to do. Okay, so the health journey is like really hard to tackle because a lot of the times people will, I don't like eating healthy, or I don't like working out, or I don't like running, or I don't like this, I don't like that. And it's hard to really figure out that you having this list of don't likes can create a really simple list of things that you do like, but it's hard thinking about it like that way, because it's such a like a negative place. Don't. So maybe like start really small. Like, okay, so you don't like the fupa, you want to evict her. Okay, so what are ways that I can start moving my body small, or what are ways that I can start altering the way I eat in small facets. So girl, just with the weight thing, just start small however you would like. Or can I do both? Can I incorporate walking in my daily routine and eating better at least 3 times a week? Or just going out less? Or just drinking only when you leave the house? I did that at one point, and that really, you don't realize you don't realize how much, if you drink at home, you don't realize how much you drink at home until you tell yourself that you're only going to drink outside the house. Is that just me? Do most people only have like a glass of wine with dinner? Girl, when I used to drink at the house, I used to have way more than a glass of wine. Girl, I used to, a bottle. A bottle, okay? I could crush a bottle of red wine. What? Hello. Don't let it be a Friday. No. Oh my gosh. Okay, so no. I used to be, the bed would be spinning. Says, no, sir, I wasn't an alcoholic. I really wasn't. This wasn't all the time. But anyways, yeah. So try with the fupa situation, just try and figure out small ways in order for you to make changes to your lifestyle. And then there you go. You're ready, going in the right direction. But the number one thing I think I want to like for you guys to pick up is how important it is to state these goals. So if you go to Susan and Susan's like, no, I don't want to start a business. I want to work somewhere else. Okay. So Susan, you need to go home. So, okay, you want to work somewhere else? You need to go home, get on Indeed, get on Monster and all that stuff, and apply to 4 or 5 jobs. At least go home tonight and apply to 4 or 5 jobs. And if you do that, then you're serious about this. You don't want to be here anymore. You want to be in a place that values you. You want to be in a place that pays you more. You want to be in a place that sees you. If you don't do that tonight, then you don't care that much. Susan, the ball is in your court, and give Susan like a small task. And like, I'm not saying become her mother and all that stuff, but if you really are in a space of wanting to help her, this is what, like, you need to help her define what this next step is. And I think a lot of the times we don't define what that next step is because we haven't defined what the goal is. The goal is to leave this company and work for another company. Okay, now that we know what that goal is, then we can define that first step is hopping on Indeed and applying to those 4 jobs. Or for Carrie, for myself, for I should have just used my name. I don't know why I didn't just use my name. Anyways, for Carrie, no, but I don't want to wish these scenarios on me. Anyways, for Carrie, for herself, when it comes to Eric, the teacher, Carrie, okay, so you define the goal as you don't want to be in spaces with Eric anymore. He creeps you out, whatever. You don't want your son to go to that, or you know that you don't want to be in spaces with him around. That is the goal. I won't go as far as to say you don't want your son to be in that school because you might have to, like, you still got to do research to figure out if there's another school in the area. But you know that you would rather not be in a space where Eric is around. Okay, so your next step, that is a goal. Your next step is to find or to go back to the drawing board, because if your son recently started school, you should have some other karate places maybe in a list somewhere. Go back to the drawing board and reach out to those places, or relook at those notes and figure out if the times work with your schedule and your son's schedule. Figuring out, okay, does this place work? Nope. Does that place work? No. Does this place work? Maybe. Okay. Make a list of maybes. All right. But you can only do that because you stated your goal. You don't want to be in a space with Eric anymore. And then lastly, the FUPA situation, like I said, if you can make the small changes, before making the small changes, I think you should state a goal there as well. Like, okay, so my goal is I would like to I don't like pounds. I only don't like pounds because of my recent journey. I realized that if you're lifting, obviously you're going to just like either be heavier or be the same weight for a really long time, and it's really frustrating, but you'll lose inches. So this isn't about me, this is about Carrie. Okay, back to Carrie. So with Carrie, you need to make a goal like, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds in a month, or I want to lose 3 inches in a month, something that's realistic. So you have to do your research and figure out what's realistic. But so that might take like another step or two prior to creating your goal, because you need to know what's realistic. Because if you don't make a goal that's realistic, you're just going to be like so pissed because you're not going to hit it, and you're going to be really down on yourself, and then it's just going to not work out. So do some research, figure out what a realistic goal is, make a realistic goal for yourself and your lifestyle, and then figure out the first steps to that. So my realistic goal is to lose 10 pounds in a month. Is that realistic? I don't think so. That sounds like a lot. Okay, my realistic goal is to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. Okay, perfect. How do I want to go about doing that? Well, I'm going to change the way that I eat. So I'm going to start bringing lunch to work and not buying every day. Perfect. And then how can I maybe throw something active in there? Something active, something food related. I feel like that's a great start. Something active in there. Well, I don't like cardio. Hate cardio. Hate cardio. Hate running. Hate walking. Hate it all. Okay, what if I went to the gym for whatever, an hour, half hour, whatever you feel comfortable with, and I just focused on lifting, just lifting, and then focused on lifting and being consistent. That's it. Lifting, being consistent, and bringing my own lunch to work. I think that's perfect. I think that's enough. Like that's to start out. Like it can be that, and like that's enough. Like you don't need to like force it. Like sometimes we make these goals that are huge. Like I'm about to lose 50 pounds in 2 months. Like I'm about to, like bro, it doesn't even make sense. Like it doesn't make sense. So I really wanted to talk about that. How like important it is to be able to state your goals, and then that allows you to figure out what the next step is. It's like if like doing these things, finding a new job, finding a new activity for your kid, going on a fitness journey, doing these things are not easy things, and they seem humongous because they oftentimes are humongous. But all you need to do in order to be able to swallow them and digest them easier is break it down. But in order to break it down, you need to know, where are we headed? What is our goal? What are we solving for? What are we solving for? And a lot of the times when like a friend will come to me and like tell me, a lot of the times when a friend comes to you, they'll tell you like a situation is going on or a scenario, and it'll be all emotion filled, and then it'll end with, okay, so how do I fix this? And you entered the conversation on an emotional plane. So I don't know how you could. I wasn't collecting the fact, or this happens to me oftentimes. I don't know if other people's brains work like this, but this happens to me a lot of the times. I'll enter a conversation with a friend. Maybe this happens to realists. No, I feel like this would happen to everybody. Okay, a friend will come to me and be like, "Girl, you won't believe what happened." I'm like, da, 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 da. They'll tell me this entire scenario, and like it's like an emotional story and all this. And can you believe this? And can you believe that? Da da da. And at the end, they'll be like, "Okay, so like, how do I fix it?" And I'm like, "Oh, well," and I'll have to like backtrack and really think, because I didn't enter this conversation in a what are we solving for facet. So I need to think about, okay, so what are we trying to do? Like, what is she really trying to solve for? Like, is she trying to be in a relationship where she's valued? Is she trying to be in a situation where she needs respect from this person that does not respect her, that, or is it showing her respect? Is she in a situation where she's dealing with a parent that forgets that she is also an adult and is continuously treating her like a child? Like, what are we? So I'll sit there and be like, well, and I'm literally thinking about like, okay, so what are we solving for? We're solving for this. So this is how I need to advise. And that helps me. That helps me provide advice. That helps me figure out scenarios in my head. That helps me a lot of the time. Just figuring out what are we solving for, and entering scenarios or receiving information in a facet that aligns with what a friend is looking for. This went from goals to advice because it's essentially the same steps of figuring out what the goal is, even when it comes to a facet of fitness, a coworker wanting to move on, and your child's activity, as well as the facet of providing advice. All right. I'm done. I'm done. All right. So thank you guys so much for getting this far, for listening to all of my I think informational rambling, a little bit of rambling, but still very informative. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It feels so weird saying that. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels like, comment, subscribe. Like it just doesn't feel real. It's so weird. Um, but yeah, thank you for getting this far. Thank you for listening. If you need to contact me through podcast@gmail.com, there's an Instagram that I keep getting kicked out of. Like, it's so frustrating. But there's an Instagram, there's a TikTok, there's a whole bunch of things. If you need to contact T, her contact is on the Instagram. So you can find us in a million different ways, in a million different facets. If there's anything you want to hear about or you want to hear me talk about, then yeah, let me know. Shoot me a DM or whatever. Yeah, let me know. But I love these so far. I love these one-on-ones. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna go get this herded. Not y'all have Cass on the internet with her natural hair out. Don't think I'm a natural girly because I'm not. Wish I was, but I'm not. I don't know how to do hair. But yeah, like what? Yeah, I'm about to go get my hair done. I'm about to go get this braided down. Look like Queen Latifah set it off. Slap a wig on. And yeah, all right, I have to go. I'm rambling. I have to go. Bye, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. I have to think about what I want my next topic to be, but I think majority of them will be in the gist of like motivational speak and like you can do it. You can do it. Yeah, because I like that. Like, I like that. And I need people to know that you are so gifted. And I remember, like, because I was literally, like, when I was a kid, I would always think, like that's for them. Like, there is a them and then there is an us. And, like, me and, like, my cousins and, like, people that I saw at church, like, we were the us. Like, the blue collar, the people that went to work and all that stuff, we were the us. And, like, there was a them that were, like, we couldn't reach that. Like, if you're well off, all that, like, we didn't know that life. And that is not true at all. And I need everyone to know that. And I need everyone to know how important they are and how special they are and how they just need to pour into themselves. Like, imagine if everyone poured into themselves, how advanced we'd be as a community, as a country. Like, that shit would be crazy, bro. Okay, I gotta go. No, I really have to go. Oh my gosh. Please listen. Thank you for listening. Please listen some more. I have to go. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Toodaloo.